Today we're going to create a slideshow, so we're going to start off by doing create new HTML5 canvas. I'm going to start off by loading a photo as my background. And for my first effect, I'm going to have my photo come in right to left and then fade up into the corner. So I'm going to create a motion tween on this, which should convert it to a movie clip symbol. I'm going to have each slideshow effect take about 60 frames. So I'm going to have this start just off the right edge. Since my stage is 1280 pixels wide, I'm going to have my movie clip start at X coordinate 1280, and then about halfway, so around frame 30, I'm going to move that back to the corner, so that would be X coordinate 0. So I should now have my picture go from the left edge right to the middle of my screen. Then I'm going to have it move up into the corner, and I'm going to do that by resizing it. So I'm going to go to my free transform tool and grab the lower right corner, then holding shift, I'm going to drag that up. If I also hold alt while I'm holding shift, instead of moving toward the middle of the screen, it'll move toward the corner. Now one thing you'll notice is that position wise we still go straight to the middle, but now the size is off. So it started as full size here, it ended at small size here, so in the middle it's actually about half size. So I'm just going to go back to my width and height and make them the numbers that they used to be. So 1280 by 720, put that back at 0, 0. And now we should have it go from right to middle, shrink up to the top. I'm going to change that layer to photo 1. I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to insert a blank keyframe right after my first photo. For my second picture, I'm going to have it start black, fade in, and then fade back to black. So I'm going to create a motion tween first. I will insert a frame at 120 to make my motion tween longer. And on my movie clip, so click on your movie clip, we're going to go to color effect and we're going to choose alpha, and we're going to start with alpha of 0 so that it's black. I'm going to go to frame 120 and I'm going to press F6 to insert a keyframe, and then in the middle, which is about 90, I'm going to click back on my image and change my alpha to 100. So now it should start at black, fade in, and fade back out to black that we have at 120. I'm going to name this layer photo 2 and create a third layer that we can name photo 3. And make a new keyframe right after my second motion tween. I'm going to add in my third photo, and then I'm going to show you something that doesn't work exactly the way you would expect it to in HTML5 canvas. So I'm going to create a motion tween, scroll this over a little bit. So I'm going to go over to 180. I'm going to click on my movie clip. I'm going to go to filters and I'm going to add a blur. I'm going to choose the quality of my blur and then a blur X and Y value. 20 seems okay. Go to the end, insert a keyframe using F6. Go back to the middle and change that blur value to 0. So now I have my blurry image come into focus and then blur back out. But if I press Control Enter to preview that, we have our first image, we have our second image, and then my third image, I only see the blurry picture. So the way this works is that when you use something that is not an alpha transition, it only caches the first frame, which is this blurry picture, and doesn't make a separate image for each of these pictures. And it doesn't process it in real time either, because this would be expensive on the processor. So the way we're going to simulate this is by using alpha again, but we're going to need to use 2 layers. So I'm actually going to remove the motion from this so that I just have one blurry image. I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to call this one blurry 3. I'm going to copy the frame from photo 3 and I'm going to paste it in the same spot as photo 3. Now photo 3, I'm going to go back and I'm going to click on my filter and I'm going to remove it so that it's clear. But if I hide it, I still see the blurry one underneath. So let's turn that back on. I'm going to create a motion tween here, and then I'm going to do the same thing I did with photo 2. So I'm going to go to color effect, I'm going to go to alpha, I'm going to set it to 0, I'm going to go to the end, press F6, I'm going to go to the middle, which is 150, click on it, change that back to 100. So now I have it fading in and fading back out. And since here and here it's invisible, I actually see the blurry picture come through. So if I press Control Enter now, here's what we get. That gives us almost the exact same effect, and this is way less processor intensive, which means we can do the same effect and our site or anything that this runs on will now run much faster. And let's add one more layer for photo 4. I'm going to insert a keyframe at frame 181. Then I'm going to add the image to my screen. Create a motion tween. If I add another 60 frames, this time I will go to 240. So over this one, I'm just going to combine a couple different things. I'm going to start with this one off the right edge. So let's go to X coordinate 1280. I will start with the alpha being 0. And then I'm going to take my image halfway. So that's 210 or 211. Bring that back to the middle. Have it fade in. So have it fade into the middle. And then we will have it move off the screen, so that would be negative 1280. Then I'm going to click on my motion tween, change rotate to 1 time, and we'll have my image rotate across the screen. Then we'll go to File, Save As. I'll name this file Slideshow. Make sure it's in the Web Design Animate folder. Go to File, Publish Settings. Make sure you're in Website Animate, hit Save. Publish will create those files. I'm going to go find my slideshow, add that, and save this. Go to my Animate folder and upload.